Peace. This is Anpu with another video on astral travel. Yes, it's happened again. So this will be number 40, right? Video number 40 on my own personal astral traveling experiences. This is what I've been going through. This is part of me. It's also part of you. You just don't realize it. You just don't remember. But this is number 40, man. Documented experiences that I had since 2012. I've had many in the past during my child, all the way on to 2012. I just never documented them. Some of them I remember, some of them I don't. But I started I started writing this stuff down around 2012. So far as documented, it's 40 times. I've done this 40 times since 2012. And I mean, just to hear that number is like, wow. And for those that don't know what astral traveling is when your consciousness leaves your body. People, it's real. I've been doing these videos for a while. I've been getting a lot of feedback from certain people. I've been getting a lot of views, and it's pretty cool. It's just putting certain people onto the information. Then there's some people that watch these videos that know about it, and just want to hear my experience. But it's been an amazing journey. And like I stated before, I've had good experiences and I've had bad experiences. And you definitely need to check out my last two videos that I did on sleep paralysis. I did a part 1 and a part 2, and a part 3 is coming soon. It's coming soon. I just had to get this one out because I had this experience today, and I finally found time to do it. So I'm like, let me just do it now. Today is June 7th, 2018. It's crazy. Since 2012, I was having these booming experiences, and here we are in 2018. I'm still having these experiences. So, like I said, it's been a crazy roller coaster ride. In the last two videos that I spoke about on sleep paralysis, on Question Everything, watch those videos. They're very good information. It's a lot of good information that I put out there. I pretty much mixed up my experience and plus this book, called Sleep Paralysis. So check it out. We all go through it. Like I keep stressing, we all go through. And for people that don't know what sleep paralysis is, real quick, it's just when your body shuts down so you don't act out your dreams. But when you go through this state, you can have an out-of-body experience. So we all go through it. So this is not something that's far-fetched and something that you probably never heard the term, but your body naturally does it. So like astral traveling, like I said, it also ties into dreams. It's real. It's something that everybody can relate to. It's something that everybody can relate to. It's just that some people just have, they just have a more ability on it. They have a special gift, but we all can possess this gift. And that's what I'm going to do on the next video on sleep paralysis, on how to do this. Because before I astral travel, before my energy leaves this body, it all starts with sleep paralysis. Okay, and in that video, I spoke about the symptoms and what you're going to feel. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't, had these feelings. They just didn't know what it was or what it is. The thing is that you have to understand how old this planet is. This planet is billions of years old. And this planet has many humanoid type of beings that evolve through time to what we have now, which is Homo sapiens sapien. This is us. It's not us, but it's the vehicle that we are using to gain this experience in this realm, right? So you gotta think about it, billions of years. Like you could reincarnate here, or you a being that just, like I said, we energy. We are energy. We are not these physical bodies. So, we came through different vehicles to gain these experiences through billions of years. And this is how it all ties into DNA. It's just a clone. So you gotta think about it. You are a clone of your parents. When it ties into chromosomes, right? 23 chromosomes from your father, 23 chromosomes from your mother. You have a total of 64 chromosomes. So whatever, that's passed on to you is passed on from your parents. And then it goes back and back and back, billions of years. So all it is that we are using these physical bodies to gain these experiences. That's all it is. And people get caught up in racism and sexism. It's probably times you came back as a female, or probably times you came back as a male, or homosexual. It's so many. Or you probably came back as an animal or a plant, because it's all energy at the end of the day. That's what we are. We are energy beings, right? Energy beings, pretty much, from the suns that's out there, because the sun is like a generator. When I did the science on I think Question Everything, do extraterrestrials exist. I kind of broke down the science on that. So go check that out. I don't want to get too caught off, because I want to stick to the topic of astral traveling. But like I said, it all ties into that. This is why people can go through. It's another subject that I've been studying. I'm a nerd, so I'm always studying and researching into new things. So the next subject that I'm looking into now is hypnosis. There's people that can go through hypnosis, get hypnotized, and then tap into their past lives. How is that? And it's deep, and there's plenty of books and there's plenty of articles and information that this stuff is proven to be real. You've been here many times. And you have to reach a certain level to go to the next level. So, it is what it is. And like I stated before in my last video, I don't condone, suicide, because you just defeating the purpose of your well-being, as well as hurting more other people than yourself. So for people out there that's going through a lot of stress and problems, and you just want to call it quits, you got to understand that within this realm, within this program that we are in, we're dealing with emotions, and emotions can hurt. You have emotions that are good, and you have emotions that are bad. So you ending your life, not technically, because you can't, there's no such thing as death, but because we've been programmed a certain way of thinking, it created a certain emotion. So if you end, your physical shell that you are in, you're gonna hurt so many other people. So I don't condone that. When you go through so much hard things, that means that something great is coming. And I think some people kind of call it quits before they can receive the gift. Because out of every situation that is so painful, something good is going to come out of that. It's a lesson that's going to come out of that. And like I said, and like I'm saying is that we've been here so many times. You got to think about all the beings that have been here, the Homo erectus, and all the way on to what we are now, that we use these bodies as vehicles to gain these experiences. But the thing is, we just can't remember. We can't remember, and I keep stressing that memory is the most important thing, and also fear and memory. those two things, man. I mean, once you master those two, you just become this, enlightened being, because you are an immortal being. You are immortal. You live forever. You're never gonna stop existing. You have to understand that. So, it's just, we just forget. Death happens so fast. And that's why you get certain, energies stuck in certain realms, because it's hard for them to remember. And that's why the thing is that when you come in, when you sign up to this physical form in this lower dimension, that when you come through that birth canal, when you come through that portal, when you come through the woman's portal, all that knowledge that you had and wisdom that you had gets wiped away. Clean slate. It gets wiped away. This is the whole symbolic story that's in the Bible with the fallen angels. The 200 fallen angels of Satan. That's in the Bible. The thing is that this is a lower state. So, but this is the task that you took. You wanted this task to better yourself and to enlighten yourself even more as a spiritual being. So, but when you come here, memory is wiped out. So all of the memories that you had in past lives, all the knowledge that you had during the past lives, all that gets wiped out. It's like you gotta start from scratch. And this is why when a baby comes out the woman's womb, out that portal, the baby hollering, screaming. Don't know what's going on, very confused. But the thing is that once you start to remember what you really truly are, then you're going to start understanding life a little more. Then you're going to start tapping into your abilities and your powers, right? It's just like the movie, and I'm always comparing movies, right? Like I said, Hollywood and other movie production companies, they put out this information for a reason. It's just that people don't catch it. But I do, because my third eye is open. Like when you look at the movie Peter Pan, that's what you are. You're like Peter Pan. Peter Pan was in Neverland. Neverland is the spiritual realm, right? And what Peter Pan does, he has these special abilities, right? He can fly. And when you look at when you read the story Peter Pan, when you watch the cartoon, or when you watch the movie Hook, I'm gonna go off the spin-off on Hook, right? How Peter Pan came from, he left Neverland, and then when he came into this lower realm, because the vibration is slower, he started to forget what he was. He actually forgot who he was, what he is, until Tinkerbell came and took him to Neverland, and then he began to tap into his imagination and tap into his childlike, and then he began to remember, and then it was like, how can I fly? Oh, think happy thoughts, and it became positive energy and love, and the Lost Boys was like family, and he was there to rescue his kids, and it was all tied into, family and love, and it's always, he's dealing with the positive energy. So that's what you are. You are like Peter Pan right now. You came from the spiritual realm. You came here. You forgot everything. But some individuals begin to wake up from it. And some individuals begin to have these experiences that they can't explain it. It's hard to explain. And this is what astral traveling is all about. And like I said, the movies, they give it to you. And I've done stated so many different movies that talked about this area of information. So many. So yeah, you are like Peter Pan. You are. And then once you start tapping into your memory, you start realizing what you truly are, what you start tapping into your abilities, and then you start to awaken, because now people are starting to awake with the information, and a lot of things are coming out. you know? So, and it all ties into this spiritual realm. And like I said, when you dream every time, you go back to that spiritual realm all the time. Every night when you go to sleep, you just can't remember. So I'm going to get into this, experience that I had today. And today is June 7th, 2018. I started documenting this stuff since 2012. And here we are in 2018. I'm still having these experiences. And some of them are good and some of them are bad. Well, not bad, but it's just something to learn from. But, it's just hard to deal with. So this, like I said, this is number 40. So this happened today. I'm going to go in on it. And like I always say, when dealing with sleep paralysis, it always starts with that sleep paralysis state, right? And I also, it's always like trial and error, right? Trying to figure out how to do this. When I always want to master how to do this at will, right? So like through my experiences, because I documented it, I'm able to like see what am I doing wrong, what am I doing right, and it's just trial and error pretty much. So I always notice that when I break my sleep pattern, and it's always around a time from like probably like midnight or like midnight to like 5 o'clock in the morning. That window, I call it the magical hours. Like that window kind of gives you that ability to journey the realms consciously. See, people gotta understand that. Like when I'm talking about astral traveling, I'm talking about journeying these realms and fully awake. And it's real. So in this one, I wrote it down. I didn't get to write it into my journal yet because just waking up and emotions and going to work. And like I said, I work with children. I work with special needs children. Support the autism awareness. I just didn't have time to put it in my journal this morning. But as I was at work, I was jotting it down. So this is number 40. So like I said, I went to bed last night, and in the middle of the night, I had to get up to use the bathroom, and I checked my time, because sometimes I work hard. I work 2 jobs, so it's like I get tired. So sometimes in the middle of the night, you have to use the bathroom, but you got to get up early anyway. So you check your time and be like, okay, I got a half an hour left. I got an hour left. I can wait. I'll wait till the alarm wake me up. Because I drank a lot of water before I went to bed. So when I checked the time, it was 3:28 a.m. right? And I know around this time, when I break my sleep and I go back to sleep, I would have that sleep paralysis experience. So that's what happened last night. So I went back to sleep, and of course, I felt the vibration. That is the first thing that happens when you're going through sleep paralysis, the vibration. It's very strong. It's a very vibrational feeling, and it starts from the pineal gland. The pineal gland is your third eye, and it comes through your whole body. And here I wrote, I also felt an entity coming close to me. And as the entity got closer, the vibration got stronger. So like I said, through trial and error, documenting this stuff down, reading, books upon this information, I do my homework. And I said to myself the other day too, which was crazy. I said, okay, I didn't have an astral traveling experience in a long time. That means it's going to happen soon. And I always use that analogy from this professor that I took in Queens College, Dr. Koch. And he taught natural disasters. And he always had this saying that if it hasn't happened in a long time, then it's going to happen soon. If it happened recently, then it's not going to happen for a very long time. So I've always, and that's dealing with natural disasters, right? I mean, now you look at on the news and stuff like that, like Hawaii with the volcanoes exploding, lava, a lot of homes is being destroyed. People, are dying, land is being destroyed. Like I said, if it hasn't happened in a long time, that means it's going to happen soon. So I use that same analogy with my astral traveling experiences. because like I said, I used to have them once a month. So, before I was like, okay, I'm ready for it because that's going to happen sometime this month. So, but then like I said, it started to slow down because I'm in a different space in my life right now. I'm much happier, I'm much calmer. I was dealing with a lot of negative entities, in the past because my surroundings, the people I was surrounded with. It's a lot of things that you don't realize what affects you spiritually, but it does, because energy, like I said, is all energy. But I was well prepared this time because I said to myself the other day, I said, man, I ain't had one in a long time. Like, okay, I'm probably gonna have one soon. Like, let me start. And I just finished a book on sleep paralysis, so everything is fresh and I'm ready for it, right? So, and like I said, I felt this entity in the room. As it got closer, my vibration got stronger. So as this was happening, I was calm. I didn't have no fear. And I just remember just filling myself with love and just good thoughts and just positive energy. And I remember just like imagining my energy just bursting with love, that it just couldn't handle it, right? And as I was doing that, I could actually feel this entity leaving. And as it was leaving, my vibration got weaker. And then I felt it come back again, and it got stronger again. So, like I said, through trial and error and through researching and reading books, I started to realize that energy that we have is a protective shield from negative entities, or any entity that's coming into your presence, right? So I remember I had a smile on my face. I had my eyes closed as well as my astral eyes closed. I didn't see anything. I was just focusing on the positive energy and the love, and I was just focusing on letting the vibration just take its course and not fight it, right? So I used my mind to move out my body with ease. And I think this was like the easiest time I've separated, because sometimes when I've separated, I feel like I'm stuck, or if I'm moving in real slow motion because I'm trying to rush it, sometimes I don't separate, but I'm in the realm, I'm in the fourth dimension. So with this time, I just focused on my mind and I just glided out my body. And it is like I always say, I could never get over the feeling. It's just amazing. And as I did that, I'm looking at my body, I'm looking at my girl's body, and I just started moving around my room. I'm floating around in my room. I'm just playing with it, having fun, because I was so full of positive energy and love. It was nothing can stop me at that time. Nothing could put fear into me. I was just full of love and good energy. And it's when you like that, like the movie, Peter Pan, Hook, he had happy thoughts and he began to fly, right? So I remember I called out because I knew something was in the room, right? So I'm calling out to this entity, show yourself, where you at? And usually sometimes when I separate, remind you, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Everything is pitch black. I've had experiences when I left my physical body and the whole room is pitch black. But in some experiences, everything is bright and lit up. Like if my own energy lit up the whole room. So that's the visual that I had in this experience. Everything was lit up like if it was daytime already, like the sun was out. My whole room was shining bright. I guess my energy was so bright that it just lit everything up. So dealing with shadow beings, and it couldn't hide. So I was calling it come on out, where you at? Confronting it. Nothing happened. But then down the hall from me, in my room, my bedroom, a little boy came out. So, and the little boy looked like a little Latin kid, right? He had the image that he had was like a 7-year-old, little Latin kid. So I saw him, and he looked very sad. So and remind you, I'm so conscious in this moment. I'm conscious. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm at. Like I said, I've done this 40 times since 2012. If I don't know what I'm doing by now, then I'm a fool, right? So I looked at him. He looked very sad. I wanted to confront him and ask him, but at the same time, I'm still cautious because I'm not sure if it's the jinn, the shadow beings. You gotta watch my videos on shadow beings. They shapeshifters. They could have used an image of a little boy to, to throw me off my experience, or it could have been a kid that's been deceased, and don't know where to go, don't know what to do. That was playing in my mind as well while I'm in this experience. That's how conscious I was. I said, maybe this little kid died and he's stuck in his fourth dimension. He don't know where to go. He don't know how to move to the higher realms, But I just was like, hey, I don't have this experience that long. I'm not trying to sit here and figure this out. I'm out of here. So I remember, like, my bedroom was on the second floor of my house. So I remember, like, flying through the window. Boom, flew right through the window. And like I stated in my past videos, when you go through doors and windows, you kind of go through like a portal, and it kind of takes you somewhere else. And the window that I went to, like in front of my house, is a big grass landscape with trees, right? It's a big grass area. Some people like, have their kids playing on there. Sometimes people walk their dogs, play with their dogs on there. So as I was walking towards the window, like I said, everything looked the same. So like outside looked the same when I was looking out, and it was bright. Like everything was lit up, like if it was daytime. So I flew through. But when I flew through, the landscape changed, and I realized that I was in this fifth dimension. Like I said, it's a higher realm because everything looks different, and everything is like heavenly. And I always say I always want to go there because it's so beautiful. It's so peaceful. The energy is just so blissful. It's a wonderful feeling that you just being there. So I remember going through there and I'm saying, wow, I'm back at this fifth dimension. I'm flying. And I remember when I flew out the window, the landscape changed. It was like if I was flying over water, like a vast ocean, right? And I remember flying and putting my hands down into the water as I was flying and touching the water. Because, like when I'm doing these things, these experiences, I'm like a scientist or a student at the same time. I'm learning, I'm exploring, I'm trying to see what this experience is, is. I'm touching the water and it felt like water, and it was like I'm flying through the air. This is crazy, like flying through the air. And I remember seeing this, I was flying with this bird. It was like a crane. It was a big crane, and it was a beautiful bird. It had a long beak, and I remember flying, beside it, and it was just looking at me, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm just flying with it, and it was just a good feeling. It was just amazing, right? And I remember, let me see what I put. Yeah, because the landscape was mostly water, right? And it was like a lagoon at the same time because it was like trees like growing out the water, right? And we have that on, in this third dimension, trees coming out the water. So this is what the scenery looked like. It was beautiful though. The trees was big and beautiful and bright. Everything is so much brighter, right? And it was like these trees, and it was like these vines. So as I was flying, I saw these kids playing in the trees. And it was like a bunch of kids, and I was like, oh. So I went towards them. I flew towards them. I sat on the vine, and then the kids were playing. And I was like, oh, I want to play with y'all. So I started playing with them. We hanging from the vines and playing tag, and it was crazy. It was just crazy. It was a crazy experience, but it was fun. It was, like I said, sometimes I've had bad experiences, and then sometimes I have amazing experiences, and this was one of those amazing experiences. And I was playing with these kids, and I remember looking up, and I saw these crafts. You know, they were they weren't the shape of airplanes. They were like, like I said, extraterrestrial ships, and there were like at least 4 of them. Like they were hovering over me, like over us, because we were like in the trees playing, and it was hovering. That's what caught my attention. So I looked up, and then they just went zoom. They just fly so fast. So I remember trying to fly in after them, but they were too fast. And I remember saying, okay, let me try to tap into my abilities here. Let me see if I could move fast like them. I tried, and to be honest with you, I couldn't, right? Like I said, it takes practice. So I couldn't, but they were gone. They were out of sight at that time, at that point. So then I said to myself, let me fly to space, right? Let me journey the universe. Because, you hear stories. I research other people's stories. They talk about, visiting other universes and other planets and stuff like that. So I said, let me try to go to space. So I try to fly up. And as I was flying up, I try to master, I try to master flying light speed, pretty much, right? Like how you see Superman doing the movies. But I just couldn't do it. And I remember just giving up. Like, you know what? I don't want to use too much energy. And then it probably I might get sent back to my physical body or get looped to a dream. So I just left it alone, right? But then I flew down to the landscape. It was like a landscape with many houses. And I remember seeing this woman. And this is when it gets interesting, right? It's always something new with these experiences, right? What I'm about to share with y'all is pretty interesting, right? I saw this woman, beautiful woman. She looked like African American, right? Beautiful body and everything. And I saw her, we greeted each other like, hey, what's going on? Da, 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 da. And I don't know what came over me, but I just asked her straight out, like, hey, you want to sleep with me? And she was like, yeah. And we had sex in the astral realm, right? And I know, don't judge me. I know everybody out there had a wet dream. I'm pretty sure you've had wet dreams since you was 10 years old or even younger. It's different. You wake up, how you have a wet dream, you're like, oh my God, I had a dream that I was having sex with this person. Or it might be like a coworker or something like that, right? I know everybody out there had that experience, so don't judge me. I was just exploring around. I research a lot, so I've heard stories of people having astral, sex with other entities and stuff like that. So this woman was, appeared to me very beautiful and very attractive, and we was having sex. And let me tell you, it felt real. It was real, like it was really going down, and it was just crazy. Like in my mind, I'm like, I felt weird it was kind of weird because I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm cheating on my wife. But at the same time, I'm like, but this is the astral realm. The rules are different, It's like, the rules are different. And I remember we was like having sex on the couch, and it was amazing. It was a crazy experience. It felt real as hell. But during that time of us having sex, then it looped me into a dream. But then within a dream, I came out of it, and then that's how I remember. So. And usually when I come out through these experiences, and I remember checking my phone afterwards, it was like 5 o'clock. So I was journeying for a while, and I remember looking at my clock, and it was like 5 o'clock. I'm like, great, I'm about to get up soon anyway to go to work. So what I do is I just sit there and I play it back like a movie, like a film. So I start back, okay. I remember going to the bathroom. This is how you help your memory. And I remember this, remember that, remember this, remember this, remember this. So the whole time I didn't write it down. I didn't write this information down. Like I said, I didn't write this information down until I got to work. So throughout the day, I'm playing this out in my head, like what happened. This is how you tap into your memory. You gotta, it's exercise, it's thought, it's like a muscle. You know, you gotta work that muscle. But it was crazy. So this was like my first astral traveling sex session, and what I say. But it was I had mixed feelings with it because I'm still tied to the physical realm with the astral realm. You see, because people, you gotta understand this. Like I said, we are energy, and these bodies are just physical vehicles. So you have to think deep about it. So the person that you're in a relationship with, yeah, she's your wife or he's your husband, but that's only in this realm. When you move on to higher realms, none of that exists. None of that exists. So your husband don't belong to you. Your wife don't belong to you. Your kids don't belong to you. Your mother and your father don't belong to you. And that's something that you have to understand. See, when this realm is this high, it's programmed, it's different. And that's why it ties into, like I spoke about before, about emotions. So it's different feelings and emotions that ties into these physical bodies that we get caught up on. But at the end of the day, it's not. Like, I was reading this one book about astral traveling by Robert M. Moreau, and he stated that he met two of his wives in two of his past lives. So, yes, you've had many wives before. Yes, you have many husbands before. You had many children before. You see, that's how you got to start understanding how all this works, right? So that's why within that realm, it's just different. But because I was so conscious and still connected to my physical body, because while I was in this realm, that's one thing too. I was analyzing that I can feel I could still feel my physical body. I could still feel my physical body breathing. I could still feel, my back laying against the bed, but while I'm in this room at the same time. So it's pretty deep. So this experience was amazing. It was something new. And like I said, every experience is always something new. And I researched other people's videos on astral travel, and they also had experiences of having sex in the realms, in the astral realms. Some people, been doing it for so long that it gets boring, right? It gets boring. It's like, that's boring. I'm into creating my own universe. I'm into creating my own reality. See, that's the type of powers that we have. So that's the type of power we have in these realms. Our abilities are very strong and powerful. But it was amazing. So yeah, it happened again. June 7th, 2018. Alright? It's number 40. 40 times I've done this. How many times you've done this? So I'm gonna leave on this note. I hope y'all like this video and gain some knowledge from it. And like I said, go check out the 2 videos that I've done on sleep paralysis. There's a lot of good information. I'm about to come out with another one of part 3 on how to have these astral traveling experiences. I gave you one of the clues on how to do it, because that works for me to break my sleep pattern. And that information is in the book that I read on sleep paralysis. That's one of the techniques of having this experience, to break your sleep pattern. But I'm not going to go into too much on that. I'm going to leave it for that segment on Question Everything. But right now, this is astral traveling time, right? So until we meet again, this is the one and only Anpu with another video on astral travel. Peace and love, and journey well. 1.